or the hatchery just about finished at the third base now. And it does look like Thomas has spotted that just by moving that Overlord in there. But it looks like this Overlord is going to get taken out before it gets any more scouting done, which will supply block Thomas. He needs to build a couple Overlords, get those started right away. As he is now, bam, supply blocked. There it goes. Just meanwhile getting those 8 drones up and building another hatchery here at the 3 o'clock position. Which will definitely give him a macro advantage as well as an economic advantage by having these many bases. Hasn't quite taken out any of the rocks yet, so he could work on getting this base back here. But so far it looks like these players are going to get to 200 with upgrades before they even decide to push out. Now getting a Baneling nest going up for Chris. So we'll see how these Banelings do against... Banelings are going to do well against the Hydras and the Zerglings, but don't really do too much damage against the Roaches. So unless he can sneak those in, and it does look like we have a Scout Zergling now going up for Thomas. Seeing where his opponent's bases are, sees that this huge army is sitting out here in front of the base, and knows that that was taken out. Meanwhile, we do have this... Weird, on my minimap it looks like there's a green dot here. Oh, there it is. Wow, that is a sneaky place to put an Overlord. Can you see this way tucked over here in the side of the map? I can't even hardly see that Overlord. But there it is, hiding there, getting some good scouting information, as we can see. Does know about this expansion here, and this expansion here can keep an eye on these mineral fields and know when his opponent's starting to run broke. So some very good scouting information so far, and knows about this hidden base up here. Meanwhile, it does look like Chris is getting ready to take out the rocks at his gold. We'll see if Chris does not know about that gold base. Meanwhile, Thomas sitting at 148 supply, Chris at 142 supply, so it looks like both players still relatively even, getting the pathogen glands for his infestors, so they have the additional energy upgrade, and now working on ground armor level 1. Meanwhile, missile attacks level 2 is now being researched for Thomas. We do have his roaches at 1-2. Meanwhile, over here we have 2-0. So it looks like as far as upgrades wise, they're pretty well even. I think the extra armor here negates the... Yeah, the 2 armor here is going to negate these attacks, so these are basically going to be 0-0. And with these are basically going to be 1-1 maybe? Yeah, 1-0. So definitely looking like Thomas is ahead upgrade-wise, as far as he went for those armor upgrades first instead of the attack upgrades. And he does have Hydras to back up his army, whereas Thomas has Infestors to back up his army. And we'll definitely see how that transitions. The Infestors can definitely do quite a bit of damage by getting some good fungals down. Can definitely make the Hydras more useless than they currently are. And it does look like we have the Scout Overlord now checking out this base, knows exactly that that base exists. Meanwhile, we just have pockets of Overlords hiding all over the map. And it does look like Thomas here is deciding to push out before his +2 attack is finished. Maybe not the best idea. Might want to wait the extra... Oh, just looks like he was clearing the watchtower. Okay, I was going to say probably don't want to attack until that crucial upgrade is finished, as we do now have +3 going up for Thomas. Or, sorry, excuse me, for Chris, as well as getting the +2 armor, Zergling speed, and the centrifugal hooks for his Banelings. And it looks like Chris is also now researching those... Is now researching the +2 missile attacks, the pathogen glands, and the ventral stacks, so transport for his Overlords. Meanwhile, we do have quite a few Banelings on the map here for Chris. We'll see what those Banelings can get in there and do. Looks like he could just roll those in here and take this out. But it is only 2 drones, won't be very good economically. Might want to hit here, hit the gold. But he does now have his gold base up, hasn't started saturating that yet, and getting 14 roaches. So we definitely have 200 versus 200 ZVZ battle here. And this is going to be one epic encounter, as I'm putting my money on Thomas right now, winning the engagement. He is ahead in the upgrade battle right now. And depending on how the army positions is and how these infestors are used, we'll see how this engages. But it looks like we do have the Zerg force moving out, and we'll see how this battle is going to portray. Definitely looks like Chris has the better concave here, getting those good fungals off to get some softening done on those roaches. More fungals being thrown down, and we do have this battle going on, and it does look like Thomas is pulling ahead here quite a bit. Baneling's rolling in from the side, taking out a few of those roaches, but it looks like half of Chris's army hasn't even started on the battle. Picking off that infestor, more infestors in the back. Looks like he can get some more fungals off here, and it does look like Chris is gonna pull it off, just barely able to pull this off. 30 roaches and more roaches in production from both players, and it does look like Chris has him on the back foot. Looks like he is going to just pull back now here. So definitely an epic engagement here. I definitely thought that Thomas was going to have that off, but definitely didn't engage in the best. Got those fungals off against his army, softened up those roaches quite a bit. And before they could really get that engagement in, Chris was able to hold that off, pull it down, and score a victory. Albeit small victory, sitting at 178 to 169 right now. Both players have 4 hatches, so they are able to macro up quite beastily, as we do have these bases starting to slowly get mined out here. Thomas is completely mined out in his main and sending most of those drones over here to the gold, and no drone saturation over here at this base. Hasn't even decided to take this base or this base yet to make it half map versus half map. So far a pretty epic game from both these players. Chris now at 188 supply, roaches 3-2 versus these roaches, which are 2-2. About to get their 3rd armor upgrade, so we'll definitely like to see Thomas get that +3 attack going as fast as possible. Possibly even add some more infestors, as we do have some Zerglings here streaming over to the natural of this 3 o'clock base. And it looks like these Zerglings are going to get picked off before they do too much damage, as they are focusing in on that queen with her 2 armor. Those Zerglings doing maybe 1 or 2 damage per tick, and those Zerglings easily getting picked off. Can't even take down that Spinecrawler or that queen. But we do now have a massive engagement here coming for Chris. Looks like he's getting ready to engage this army again. Could possibly be going for that expansion. And we do have another roach on roach battle here. Chris getting a slightly better concave, getting those fungals off, softening up those roaches as much as possible, then retreating, using that bird movement to his advantage. Meanwhile, sending those infestors in first to try and get some more key fungal growths off. Battle's engaged up here in the northern position, getting some more key fungals off, softening up those roaches even more, as the infestors do massive amounts of damage now to armored units. And it looks like Chris is going to pull this battle off. Looks like he did get the better concave, now throwing out some infested Terrans to attack these roaches from behind. Roaches falling as fast as possible, and it does look like Chris is able to win the 2nd engagement. Now supplies 196 to 98, and he's going to be moving in here to this next base. 21 more roaches in production for Chris, 24 more roaches in production for Thomas. Now getting that Zerg level 3 attack, as well as getting the ground attack level 3, and Zerg melee attacks level 1 going up, and getting some more of those infestors, which have been key to his battle. Looks like these roaches aren't going to get picked off, as they are a smaller force. And these roaches are definitely going to get picked off. Now here, focusing on more roaches streaming out here from the natural base. And it looks like this battle might be going to Thomas here, as he does have the upgrade advantage 3-2 versus these 3-2 roaches as well. And using that bird movement to heal those roaches out and retreat them. Looks like pushing further into the natural base. And it looks like he is going to unburrow those right on top of that queen. Snipes the queen 1 shot. And snipes down that Spinecrawler. Now working on the drones for Thomas. Meanwhile, Thomas is getting surrounded here by this, and Thomas calls good game. If you like this cast and more like it, please subscribe to my channel down below. And as always, tune into the StarCast at www.thestarcast.com. Thank you, and have a good evening.